Hi Scorpio, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your February 2022 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who like, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, the Celtic Oracle spread as always, and also put some Oracle cards and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off though by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. So, let's see what we get. Alright, so we have one first house. So for you guys, that's of course your energy, Scorpio energy. So not really much going on there astrologically speaking, but the south node will be in your sign for about 18 months. So definitely some significance there anyway. Alright, we have Sagittarius energy. That's your second house of possessions, self-worth, finances. So yeah, definitely be some focus around that. I do see some Sagittarius energy in your spread too. And we have Mercury. So the time I'm recording this, Mercury pretty much just started its retrograde in Aquarius, and then it's actually going to backtrack into Capricorn, which is your third house communication. So definitely makes sense to see Mercury coming up as a focus for you guys this month. All right, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. Okay, in the main situation position, we have the Six of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here, and usually represents an energy of peace restored, possibly even after some conflict. Or for some of you, I feel like this could even be a situation where you might have been feeling a bit exhausted. And in a way that would make sense because I remember your reading for January was an action-oriented month was the title I gave it. So you're probably doing quite a bit lately. So yeah, I feel like this is just you guys possibly just taking a bit of a brief break. Possibly for some of you, there could be a bit of travel involved, but for others of you, might even just be saying, all right, I'm just going to take a break, chill at home for a while, hit the reset button so I can re-energize. All right. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So Virgo energy here. For some of you, this could be more of a simple thing, saying that maybe there's a group that you've been dealing with that you don't feel like you're connecting with them too well anymore, so you might be moving on from that group. But for a lot of you, I feel like this is more of an energetic thing, which is to say you might have had some financial goals that you're really striving toward and possibly putting in a lot of work toward that goal. But I feel like you might have just reached a bit of a state of burnout, where I feel like you might not have gotten to the goal that you were hoping for just yet. But I feel something might click for you, where you might realize, okay, you know what? This can wait, right? I'm obviously going to come back to it, but I need a little bit of a break because you might start to realize where the return on the investment just isn't quite what it was, right? When you almost reach that point of burnout, the quality of your work might suffer. So then you're like, okay, I could keep plugging away at this, but if the quality of the work keeps declining, maybe I just need to hit the reset button. So I feel like that could be the energy you guys are getting into. All right, in the foundation position, we have the Ace of Swords. So this represents sudden realization, some kind of insights. For some of you, this could just point to the full moon that we had in Cancer. At the time of recording this, it's pretty much about to take place. So could just be pointing to that for you guys, given that this is February reading. Could just be saying, given that that was a full moon in your 9th house and opposite your ruler, which is Pluto, in your house communication, you guys definitely could add some kind of insight where something just clicked for you. And again, like I said, maybe it was your approach to how you were working toward a goal and realize that you might need to just step back for a bit and re-strategize. All right, in the past position, we have the Nine of Wands, Sagittarius energy here, which we saw in the dice, and the Ace of Cups. So for some of you, might have realized that possibly such a heavy focus on your finances could have led to a loss of other opportunities, right? So for some of you, super generic example could have been to the detriment of your love lives, right? But for others of you, could just be saying opportunities to connect in general, right? You might have just been so singularly focused on a goal, probably financial in nature, that other areas of your life might have started to suffer. And on top of that, I feel like this is saying that you might have felt like you weren't reaching that goal anyway. I feel like you were pretty close with that Nine of Wands, but again, you might have felt like what you were missing out on for the sake of that goal, the trade-off might have seemed a little bit out of balance to you. And for some of you, you could have come to that realization during Sagittarius season too. I should mention that since that wasn't too long ago. In the present position, we have the moon. So yeah, I mentioned the fact that we're pretty much at the time recording this under that Cancer full moon energy, and then there's also the fact that what stands out to me with this is in February, right at the very start of the month, there's going to be a new moon in Aquarius, which is your fourth house, and it's going to be making a tense aspect with Uranus in your opposite sign. Then there's going to be a full moon in Leo toward the end of Aquarius season. That's going to be square to nodes, and like I said, the south node is going to be in your sign during that time. So lunar cycles will be important for you guys this month. Definitely keep an eye out on them. I don't think it's going to be a good or bad thing, but I definitely think they'll be noteworthy and probably give you some good insights on some situations. All right. And again, another way I could see that too is pointing to that low energy point, right? Where I feel like you can recharge, but with that moon energy, thinking about it making room for the sun, right? Which we think of as more energetic. Could just be saying that you might be at a bit of a low point energetically speaking, and just taking a bit of a break might be exactly what you need. Near future position, we have the Knight of Wands. So yeah, to me, the way I'm seeing this, given what we were talking about, especially that more negative Sagittarius energy in the past, to me, this represents you guys being reinvigorated. So yeah, like I said, for a lot of you, I don't feel like this would be a long-term departure from whatever goal you've been striving toward. I feel like it's more of a temporary break you might take. So super generic example, maybe you decide to take a weekend road trip or something like that, right? Just clear your mind, get out of the environment that you're in that might be bogging you down a little bit, and you feel refreshed, ready to attack your goals again with a new level of vigor. So that's what I'm seeing with that. And again, this could represent a bounce back in your finances too. All right. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Two of Cups, Cancer energy, and the Page of Wands. So for some of you, this could be broadening your horizons too. So going back to the example I gave for some of you, or maybe you were realizing that you're not connecting with a group the way that you had in the past, this could represent broadening your horizons in that regard and possibly interacting with different groups of people and maybe finding that you have more of a meeting of the minds with a different group than you've been associating with. It's one way I could see that. Of course, for some of you, like I said, if this was just you had such a singular focus on a financial goal of yours, maybe this is saying that now that you're feeling reinvigorated with that and feeling better about the situation, that might free you up to pursue other areas of your life. So for some of you, yes, this could be a love relationship or even just new friendships. And with that Page of Wands energy, it looks like it's an action-oriented energy on your part. So for a lot of you, you might be the ones initiating these connections too. All right. In the environment position, we have the Queen of Wands, Aries energy, and the Eight of Swords, Gemini energy. So quite the contrast here, at least for this particular Gemini energy, where we see the lack of movement, right? Lack of confidence around communication, just taking action in general, whereas the Queen of Wands is almost the opposite of that, right? Very confident, very bold, outspoken. So one way I could see this could just be saying, on the surface, you might be giving a bit more of a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Where you're presenting yourselves as more open, right? But underneath it all, you have that fire, right? And then on the surface with this person, it's almost the other way around, where they might present that fiery, confident facade and up front, but underneath it all, there could be a lot of uncertainty on their part. So it could be interesting where that could be the dynamic between you and another person, where you might kind of soften your approach, but underneath it, there's that fire there. Then you have someone who seems a lot more confident on the surface, but they have a bit of uncertainty underneath their surface. That's one way I can see that playing out. For others of you, if this is around work projects that you guys are trying to figure out, right? So like I said, it looks like there's a reinvigoration there. And I feel like you might be getting some good ideas on how best to approach the goal moving forward. But again, there could still be a little bit of hesitancy on your part to move forward with it just yet. And, you know, like I said, the time I'm recording this, the Mercury retrograde just started. It's going to end up in your third house communication. We still have the Venus retrograde at the time I'm recording this too. That's going to be clearing out through February. So yeah, you might just still feel like the timing might not be quite right to tackle these things, but I feel like you are going to hit that reset button in a positive way this month. All right. And in the hopes or fears position, we have the Sun, and the Six of Cups. So this is actually Scorpio energy here, and seeing the sun, given what we were talking about with the moon as well. Like this is saying that you are hoping to be re-energized, right? To have that youthful, playful passion for something. And if that's the case, I feel like this could just be saying for some of you, maybe to reconnect with something from your childhood might be a good way to, you know, restore your energy levels, and then you can reapproach this goal that you've been working toward with a fresh energy level, maybe even a fresh outlook, maybe some new ideas on how best to approach the goal and achieve the goal. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing with that. And yeah, I mean, for some of you, if it's just been one of those things where it's been all work and no play, right? Could just be as simple as that, right? Where like, okay, yes, I've been working like crazy toward these goals. I just want to disconnect, have a little bit of fun for a while, right? And for some of you, possibly even could be around the wound that you might have had too, that might make you hyper focused toward striving for a financial goal that could be to your detriment for a bit. And in that regard, this could just be saying that you might be extending healing to yourselves in that regard as you come out of that energy. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Queen of Swords, Libra energy, Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, and Page of Pentacles. So yeah, seeing these three cards come up the way that I'm seeing this, again, given that Libra energy for you guys is 12th house, I feel like this is saying definitely between that, the Ace of Swords and Foundation, definitely be on the lookout for the lunar cycles, even starting with the Cancer full moon, if you guys watch this when I first recorded. But I feel like there's going to be some insights that come through for you guys that are actually going to help you approach goals in a different way. And I feel like this is saying that you come to that realization, right? Okay, this is a practical way I can approach this goal. And yes, maybe even part of that is just accepting that you might not be there yet, right? Like, okay, yes, I'm not at the Queen of Pentacles level I ultimately want to be at just yet. But at the same time, not letting that deter you from taking action, right? And realizing that, okay, you know what, I'm pretty close though, right? So if we think about the Ten of Pentacles in reverse there, the card after that would be the Page of Pentacles. So I feel like this is saying you're coming to the realization that, okay, maybe I'm not quite where I want to be yet, but I'm pretty far along, and that's going to kind of reinvigorate you guys, and you're going to attack those goals with fresh energy. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the Star. So this is the major arcana card for Aquarius, and usually this represents course correction. Of course, it is the card that comes after the Tower, so some of you might have already gone through a Tower moment. Could just be as simple as saying that the energies that you experience during Aquarius season could just be that course correction that you need, where, like I said, for a lot of you, it looks like it's just going to be a simple reset. So if you're not able to travel because of all the restrictions or this financial thing, I feel like even just staying at home and disconnecting from everything for a few days might be exactly what you need. All right. So moving on to your 4 agreements card, we have always do your best. There's the artwork, and it says do your best because you want to. So, all right. Let's see if we get that to focus better. There we go. We need the camera to do its best. It says you do your best when you are enjoying the action or doing it in a way that will not have negative repercussions for you. You do your best because you want to do it, not because you have to do it. Not because you are trying to please the judge, and not because you are trying to please other people. So yeah, pretty positive message there. And that could be part of what that is for you too, right? Especially what I was talking about, where you might feel like you want to reconnect to that more light, playful energy, where it could just be one of those things where the work that you are doing might feel more like drudgery than anything else, to where you're like, okay, yes, I have this goal, but it's like draining me. So I need a bit of a reset, right? So hopefully that resonates with you guys in that regard. Okay, next from the Wisdom of the Oracle, we have Round and Round. There's the artwork, and the number is 25. So let's see what this is about. Definitely gives me like retrograde vibes, so it could just be stuff coming up with the retrogrades too. It says the spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated, cycles you are challenged to break, revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. The Oracle's message. The appearance of this card is a reminder that although it may appear that you've gone backward, the truth is that you are standing at a higher level, looking down into your circumstances. You will learn something, do something better, and break a cycle set up in the past. You actually have a bird's eye view of your initial footprints and can access the wisdom and lessons learned. So yeah, pretty positive message there, and it definitely makes me think of all the Aquarius energy that we mentioned and the retrogrades too. Alright, the relationship message says, are you wondering, how did I get here again? Does something feel familiar right now in your dynamics with others? Maybe a little too familiar? Don't be surprised that you found yourself repeating an old story with the same sort of person who may not look similar, but who attracted you because of your easy acquaintance with his or her qualities. Your relationship is a mix of what is good and what is potentially challenging. You have been drawn to this person through the perfection of Spirit's plan for your evolution. You may have circled back to an accustomed spot, a familiar place, but that's fine, as you get to do things again, only differently this time, for you learned something of great value since the last time around. How will you choose to behave now that you're aware? Remain curious and stay out of the blame game. So, pretty positive message there. I didn't get like a huge one-to-one relationship vibe from that, but hopefully that resonated. And the prosperity message says, if you're in a scenario that appears to be an echo of something that's already happened in the past in your work life, it's because you're being invited to see what you couldn't see before. This is a perfect time for you to look at the deeper motives you have and your attraction to the opportunities and people who have entered your life to be part of your journey to prosperity. Who helps you navigate? Who sabotages you? Who supports you? What are the familiar signs and your responses to them when you find yourself in a repeat of a pattern of the past? It's a good time to get a coach or mentor who can help you see what you can't on your own. Repeat what works, not what doesn't. Then you will free yourself from the old cycles and cease going round and round. So yeah, pretty positive message there. For a lot of you, I don't even feel like there's an external person who helps you along toward this goal. Like I said, I feel for some of you, it's primarily just going to be taking some time away from the work you've been doing for a bit. Like I said, even just a long weekend, I feel like you're going to get some sudden insights. And I feel like it's primarily going to be around the lunar cycles that we mentioned already. So keep an eye out for those. All right. And lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. So this is your mudra here. It's the Anahata Chakra mudra. The keyword for it is compassion. And all right, there we go. So if you want to pause it or take a screenshot, you can. But it says, activates Anahata Chakra, improves the health of the heart, lungs, and breast, regulates breathing, expands feelings of compassion and love, increases healing abilities. So if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name of it in the description video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.